Consistently attract soulmate clients. Begin showing up on brand, monetizing on your calling. Welcome all spiritual coaches, leaders, healers, light workers, and practitioners to a show that turns you on in your business and amplifies your magnetism. I'm host, catalyst, and spiritual business coach Rosalyn Fung, and I'm here to journey with you into the juicy and help you discover where the real gaps are. Ignite your mindset and soul with strategies and systems as each episode takes you to the sweet spots that activate your Soulgasmic business. Enjoy this light language activation as we begin to magnetize and monetize. Hi, loves. Welcome to another incredible episode. Today, we are speaking on how to gain energy, sleep better, and release weight in 21 days. I know this is a really bold statement, and I have witnessed it. I have experienced it. So I'm going to be sharing with you, because you guys have heard me say, health is wealth. Like, what good are we if we are taken out? And so as a high-performing CEO, business owner, leader, I'm going to have my special guest, one of my soulmate clients, Scott McDermott, share with you what's the best way to eat to be lean and healthy, how you can drop weight easily without restricting and dieting. And trust me, like I have, again, experienced it with his incredible recipes. What if you could also totally change your life just in 21 days? Bold statement. And like I said, Scott's going to share more with you and how nutrition can actually change your mood, attitude, and personality. So before we move into that, and before I share a little bit more about this amazing man, I want to have you check in. It is almost the end of the year as we're recording this. And I would love for you to just really check in and see how it's been going with your business. And I invite you to my free Facebook group, Boldly and Unapologetically Get Visible. Actually, it's called Bold and Unapologetic Visibility for Life and Spiritual Coaches. There we go. It's all in the show notes. And in there, I have been doing trainings, and this is a beautiful community where you can ask questions in terms of mindset, strategies, and energy. I do Akashic readings in there as well. So it's a really fun time. So make sure you come and play. All right, my loves. So let me introduce to you Scott. He is one of my friends, one of my, like I said, soulmate clients. We'll talk a little bit about how he entered into my world. And Scott McDermott is the founder of Warrior Code Training. And he is, honestly, he's one of the most generous souls I've ever met. He's got such a good heart. As soon as you guys, you can probably feel his energy. He hasn't even spoke. And he's hilarious as heck. So I can't wait. So Scott has been an architect for 13 years, left that job, overweight, sick, and stressed, to get super fit. He went on to open a gym called Best Body Fitness. And then he wrote a book about health and fitness called If Your Body Were a Car, You Wouldn't Treat It This Way, as well as a fitness journal and a recipe book. Now, Scott then went on to compete in Ironmans and triathlon, which are triathlons. He's going to tell you more about that, but his journey brought me to tears. He almost died. And he's going to share more about his journey in this. And then he had a comeback. And I really, truly believe that whether you're here, for the topic, this story will inspire you to really come alive to this next level. Be so moved by how incredibly resilient we can be as humans, and what's possible when we're faced with death. So without further ado, I want to welcome Scott. Hi, love. So good to see you.
Thanks, Rosalyn. It's great to be here.
Oh my God. So good. Let's first of all celebrate you. Because we've been working together for a few months now, and we met at Blue Talks Business Life Universe,
Yep.
which is a platform that we both speak on, founded by Corey Poirier. It's like if TEDx and Chicken Soup for the Soul had a baby, you would get Blue Talks. And it's an incredible community, isn't it, Scott? Like,
Yes.
hello, so much networking. I just came back from Miami Blue Talks, so much fun.
Mhm.
Um, and when I saw your talk, which we will link in the show notes as well, I was so moved. Honestly, that was one of my favorite talks I have ever seen. And I watched it again this morning on YouTube on your channel, and I just cried again because I'm so moved by you and the way you speak and just the creativity that came into your talk. Um, and so we'll share more of that story a little bit, but I do encourage you all to go and watch that. So yeah, Scott, tell me a little bit about let's celebrate your wins, because what got you to work with me in the first place?
Hmm. Do you want to go through a big history or just that part? Because that part's easy.
Just a little part, and then we'll celebrate your wins.
Sure. Yeah, I've been on quite a journey. I was an architectural technologist, just so you say I wasn't a
Mhm.
full architect, but that that got me to fat and sick, and then I got fit and healthy, then I got into triathlon, all kinds of stuff like that. And how
Yeah.
you and I connected, obviously, is through Corey, but interestingly enough, I sort of on the periphery saw the things you were doing, but when I was asked by Corey to be one of the co-hosts of Amplify Your Message, his quarterly
Mhm.
podcast interview week, I actually interviewed you on one
Yes.
of them, and you did a process um, that
It was
was
a
just
somatic healing process. Yes.
yeah, it was
Yeah.
profound and amazing. And I was like, okay, I got to work with this lady. Like, this is my next evolution. So, um,
Yeah. So, like, really quickly, Scott, and I love how vulnerable you just get. Like, it's just so real and you're so relatable. Where you were just saying, look, I notice I'm playing small and I'm hiding. And to be honest, I was a little bit surprised. I shouldn't be, because I see this a lot, where it looks like a lot of people are really showing up. But inside, we all know, like, there's another level inside us, right? I mean, I know when I'm hiding sometimes too, and nobody can tell, but I know.
yeah.
And so within less than 10 minutes, I was able to work somatically with Scott. We should link that in the show notes too, where we unlocks his next level of confidence and belief in himself. And then, yep, that Scott then hired me, and we've been working together, and let's celebrate some of the wins.
Mm, there's been lots of wins.
I
I
know
was
you make me cry with your wins, like,
yeah.
seriously.
Well,
Like, in a good way.
it's been a challenge. So I built a 15,000 square foot gym and ran it for 18
Yeah,
years. I mean, in March 2020, gyms were not the thing
yeah.
anymore in the sense that we all got shut down. And I looked at the math and I had an energetic moment where God or universe, whatever you want to call it, spoke through me. And I was like, this is over. Just let it go. And I was like, oh my God, really? Yep, just let it go. And I let it go. And I ended my gym after 18 years and sold off all my equipment. And I was like, well, now what am I gonna do? And I took a little time over that. And then I started to build an online just coaching people. Enough people knew me. And I had lots of programs. I've been a trainer for 25 years. So I've got all this knowledge. And I after 3 months of kind of just stewing, I was like, I still love helping people more than anything. So I found ways to do that. But again, I was playing small. I was way undercharging for what I was giving. And
Can I
it was
just
just,
interrupt that? Like, so much so, Scott's clients were paying him more. They're like, just take the bonus, take the bonus. Like, dude, you're undercharging. Your clients are amazing. They love you so much. They
yeah.
know the value. They're all the transformations.
Yeah.
Wow.
I've had several people where a year and a half ago, it was $27 to repeat my program. So it was after you did it once, it was only 27 to repeat it. And I've had several clients who like they would send me $100 every month. I'm like, it's only 27. Like, yeah, here's 100. So, okay. So yeah, I just was and then in the spring I took on a sales job, like an online sales job to try and make ends meet and pay for a couple programs and stuff. And it just was gross. It was not aligned. It was the company didn't have any ethics or morals, and I couldn't do it. Um,
It
I
was
made
soul
some money
sucking
with
for
it
you.
in short, but it was so hard. I was just out of alignment. I had to stop. And that's when I started working with you, Roz. And I wanted permission to quit because my family needed the income, but I hated it because it was out of integrity. I was
Mhm,
finding clients where it was a match, but
mhm.
that meant I wasn't making a lot of sales because it was bait and switch and it was all that crap. And so when I started working with you, and I remember one of the first things you made me do was write a letter to my company apologizing for not trusting it. And
Mhm.
but
Because
that was
business is its own entity, right? When we open the Akashics, we're really looking, we can look at the Akashics of your, so the records, the book of life with your business. It's his own energy. So yes, I made Scott apologize to his business for betraying it and not giving it attention and focus.
yeah, and it was amazing because there
Mhm.
was a point where it's like, "Hey, look, you're ripping people off by not helping them." Like,
Yep.
you've so much to offer, and by not offering it, you're actually ripping people off. Like, you need to help people. That's what you do, and to stand in that was
Yes.
amazing. And not only have I drastically replaced the income that I was making from that company I was didn't work,
And within, like,
like a
can
month and a
we
half,
just
2
even
months.
slow that down? Within, soon as you did that, you wrote the apology letter, then you wrote almost like a recommitment letter to your business. Holy shit, with all the activations that we did, you literally called in, like, how many, like, was 36 clients into your program within a
Yeah,
couple
37.
weeks. Like,
Yeah.
that's how
So
much confirmation and alignment happened.
yeah, in July, you made me write that letter, and I wasn't going to run a 21-day program in August because it's
Yeah,
summer and nobody's
yeah.
gonna come, and I had all these reasons. And I wrote that letter, and people started like, the next week, people were like, "Hey, coach, are you doing one in August?" And I was like, "Well, I was thinking about taking the month off, but if enough people want it, I'll do it because I can." "Oh, I want in. I want in. I want." All of a sudden, boom, 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 and I went from not thinking I would get anybody to 37. It was, are you kidding me?
I
And
was
then
taking screenshots and sharing them because I was like, I was on
yeah,
vacation when you were telling me this. I'm like, okay, let's call it X amount more, like four more. And you were just like, as soon as we said that, like two more just joined. I'm like, yes, this was the magic. And I remember you saying it gave you life again, and just how just this shifted you, and how, like, I even may want to cry again because Scott, you deserve this. You, like, you are so talented. I see the results. I mean, you guys can go look at Scott's, like, testimonials, client testimonials. Holy moly! Like, pictures don't lie. The results of the weight loss, the fitness. You also help triathletes,
mhm,
people to train in Ironmans. Geez, the results. Like, wow, people love you because you love them, and it's so clear.
yeah. Well, and what I really coach the most, I think, and maybe people don't realize it at first, is that this is gonna sound odd, but I think weight loss is cute. It's neat, but that's not the
Real.
deal. Like, to me, dropping body fat is a byproduct of who
Yes.
you become and living
Correct.
well. That's what I love. People don't see that at first. They're like, they join because, "Well, I need to drop 10 pounds." Okay, cool. And
Mhm.
then that's great. We will do that. Awesome. But like, if fat loss was a result of another diet, we would all be fit. We'd all be lean.
Mhm.
That's not the deal. It's not because, well, it was the South Beach diet, or it was keto, or it doesn't matter. You can put any brand name on it you want. It doesn't matter. It's not that. That's not the hard part. The nutrition part is really simple. It I've been doing this for 25 years. That's not the hard, but the hard part is social. The hard part is mental. The hard part is your kids went out trick or treating and all of your favorite chocolate bars are sitting there and you're looking at them. And now what do you do? Because you know those are a sometimes
Mhm.
food used loosely, and they're not helping you with your goals. But that part of your mind takes over, and now you've eaten 12 coffee crisp mini bars. And what am I doing? So
Yes.
how do you work through that process? And how do you change those habits and those those dendrite links in your mind that are like a robot. Click where, click where, click where, stimulus response, stimulus response, stimulus response. How do I change the response? That's the exciting part.
It is. And you're so, like, in your programs, you have created videos for us clients too, because I'm in your program too, to watch. And honestly, you guys, like, it's not just teaching. Scott is entertaining. Like, this is so creative. I'm laughing my butt off as I'm learning. I feel like that's part of your magic, is you have a way to speak about something and help us think differently. I see your clients making comments about it and saying, holy moly, people in the community are just like, this was so helpful, aha moment, like, yay, I'm celebrating this. Your recipes are gold, like, yeah, so good.
That's awesome. Thank you.
I want to honor you. I want to honor you in even a record-breaking month as well. So huge. So huge.
Yeah, October was great. It was my best month in 2 years. And it's funny. What's funny is, so this month things have been a little bit quieter as we're getting to that holiday season, and a lot of people, it's ironic. I don't want to take care of myself this month because it's the holiday season.
Let's talk about that. Let's go into that.
You're gonna feed yourself like an idiot and gain a bunch of weight and be miserable. Like, you're gonna wait to take care. Like, I'm just gonna ruin myself for 2 more months and then I'll take care of myself. Do you know? Here's the thing. Listen, I'm not a Scrooge. I love Christmas. I love eggnog. I love gingerbread cookies. I love mashed potatoes and gravy. I'm not saying you can't have those things, but it's about how do you integrate holiday fun food with my goals of being healthy and fit, so you can do both. Like, that's the deal. So many people just go, well, it's the holiday season, all bets are off. That's like, well, I got a flat tire, I'm gonna slash the other 3.
Well, and it's also the same as, like, in business, thinking, well, it's the holidays, so nobody's going to want to join my program. It's the same thing, right? It's like we get so stuck. Wrong. You proved yourself wrong, Scott. But it is really the same thing. We get so stuck with time and all that stuff when that actually doesn't matter. If people see, like, this is what I need to feel supported, they will join. Like, it doesn't matter with the time. We all make things happen. I think that's part of the mindset, right? I mean, even money blocks in terms of, I don't have the money to invest in myself, but yet you see them going on holidays. So clearly it's more of a priority thing. So I feel like that's part of the mindset too, right, Scott? Like, how important is our health in your case? How important is it that I sleep better? How important is it that I have energy? How important is it that my metabolism is high so I can have the extra indulgence?
Yeah, absolutely. And trying to really understand what's actually going on in a lot of senses. Like, when you go to a gathering, a social gathering, we have to remember the point of the gathering is not food. The point of the gathering is the people.
Yeah.
The food is there, and I get it. It's yummy and it's delicious and it's great, but food is not good or bad.
Exactly.
Food is not an emotion. Food is just food. And so it either brings you closer to or further from your goals. That's it. And so it's about a decision of, is this helping me or harming me? And that's it. And I don't know how many people out there like eggnog. I could live on eggnog, not really, but I love the stuff. Like, oh my gosh, I love the stuff. And when I look back why, and I can get to that in a second, it's powerful. But the difference I've made is that when I have eggnog, it used to be that I would pour the biggest glass we have of eggnog, 3 cups of eggnog.
Wow.
Right? 600 or 700 calories. And I would grab that thing and I would start tipping it back. There's your water glass. And I would start tipping it back. And I'm like, duck, 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 duck. And I would finally stop and breathe and go. And that was the moment I tasted that it was eggnog. The first 2 cups that I just drank, it could have been motor oil. Yeah. My body doesn't know the difference. My brain didn't even know what it was. I just threw it back. Well, you just
I can relate.
500 calories. that
Yeah.
are not helping you, and you didn't even enjoy it. So
Yeah.
now when I want to have eggnog, I plan it in my day. I know that it's fat and sugar. I get that. And it's going to cause a little bit of inflammation tomorrow. That's fine. I can deal with that because it's once in a while. And I have 1 cup and I
Mhm.
put my pinky up and I sip it. I swirl it around. And oh, it's so
Love it.
yummy. And my taste buds do all those really yummy
Mindfulness.
things. What's that?
It's mindful eating.
It's mindful. All my taste buds go nuts and I enjoy it. I go, oh, and then I
Yeah.
have another little sip and I actually enjoy that 1 cup because what I want is the flavor and the experience of eggnog. I don't
Yeah.
need the calories. So
That's
how do
right.
I get both?
Absolutely.
And when
Well,
I
and I
want,
think you remember I used to be a psychologist specializing in eating psychology because of my own disordered eating, right? Got into bodybuilding
Mhm,
for all the wrong reasons, restrict, like
yeah,
not healthy. And then binge because I wasn't eating enough calories and carbs, really. And so after that healing, yeah, like this is, and again, certified in eating psychology, that was one of the things is mindful eating really helps us realize what is food really replacing for you right now. Like, what is it numbing out for you?
mhm,
And when we're drinking fast, when we're binging, and sorry, that might be calorie deficit, but there's something underneath that.
mhm,
It's often covering something.
yeah, and in an environment like where you get enough calories,
Yeah.
which most of us do without problem, but, so many you know what, though? I say that, but so many people are so used to starving to death, they think starving to death is the way to drop fat, and it's not. It's the
Yeah.
dumbest thing in the world. You
Yeah.
should don't starve to death. That is just the dumbest idea. I'm not a fan. But what I one of there's a lot of layers to this. I mean, we could talk for 6 hours, but, um,
Hmm.
which is why I do daily mindset videos, so I can give people nuggets of knowledge as they go rather than everything all at once with a fire hose. But
Yeah.
one of the most fascinating things that I've discovered over the years is, well, why do I love eggnog so much? Why do I love ice
Mm.
cream so much? Why do I love cookies so much? And it I've really realized the truth of it. And we all have our own version, but I know for me, growing up, my wonderful parents were stuck in a rut. They were alcoholics and they were stuck in that rut.
Mm.
And my dad also worked all the time.
Yeah.
And there would be some terrible night before or whatever, and he would come home from work the next day. And my dad was, I mean, he was raised in the 30s, right? You didn't say love, you didn't show emotions, men don't hug, men don't show any
Mhm.
emotion. You're strong, you're a pillar of, you're that's it. And that's how he was taught. So my dad didn't ever hug us. He didn't say he loved us. That's not what men do. But he would come home from work with a 2-liter carton of eggnog, and that's how he said love. He would
Ah,
bring home ice
association,
cream
right.
and root beer for floats, or he would bring home cinnamon buns, or he would bring home cookie. He would every day he came
Mhm.
over, that's how he said love. And so as a kid, my brain went, junkie sugar equals love. Eggnog equals love. That's how I know
Yeah,
my dad loves me. He bought me eggnog. And so
yes.
as an adult, because my dad passed away when I was 16 as a
Wow, that's
result of
right.
that,
Mhm.
right? So and I miss him every day. Like he was an amazing, amazing man. I get that he was stuck in a trap. I don't hold that against him. I don't hold it against my mom. That was their trap. So, but I still to this day miss him. And I have that neural association. And you look at everybody. So that's me. But you look at everybody. When do we have sugar? At Christmas, at your birthday, at Valentine's Day, at Easter, at weddings, like celebrations, right?
Mhm.
The most amazing memories of my life involved sugar or junk. Now, whether you're a potato chip person or whether you're a sugar cookie person, doesn't matter. But those celebrations involved that. Oh, you skinned your knee. Here's a cookie. Oh, you graduated. We're gonna have a party. Everything was junk food, junk food, junk food. And so we build a neural connection of
Mhm.
that food equals
Yes,
happy love. That
yes.
food equals happy love. And now I come home and I've had a crap day at work and somebody run into my truck and a thing happened and I fell and I had to pay an extra tax or I got a whatever. And I'm just in a
Mhm.
grumpy mood. I know what will make me feel loved: junk food. So I will eat
Yeah,
junk food because every time I eat junk food, I'm happy. So therefore, junk food makes me happy. Whoa, that's actually not true. That's not true. That's an unhealthy relationship with food, because food is not love. It's just food.
That's right. And it gets associated. I can actually relate. Thank you for sharing your story. Like, my mom and I had a pretty conflictual relationship growing up. And one thing, my mom she's the best cook in the world for Chinese food, like so good. And she would show her love. Like, being Asian, we're not very affectionate either.
Mm.
And so my mom showed her love with food. And so that's how I started to associate food, it was love as well. And what's interesting, Scott, is that I found out later, like when I was like early 20s, after I was healing, as I was healing with my disordered eating, that my mom also struggled with anorexia. And her dad was very hard on her and criticized her and called her fat. And she was an athlete. So she's like me. I got my muscle legs and my muscle butt from her. She was a track athlete. And her dad would put her down. And so she starved herself. And it's very interesting. And I think she would then binge. But I had no idea. Right. And it's that generational trauma that can be passed on. So it's just so fascinating. So
Mhm.
yay for us for breaking the generational chain there.
Yeah, there's so many layers to it. It's
Yeah,
unbelievable. And it's about that understanding that food is fuel. And once in a while, it's really fun and delicious and amazing, and it should be. Like, I don't advocate people eating black and gross. Like, that's dumb. Like, we're
black
lucky
and gross.
enough. What's that? Yep,
What did you say?
black and gross, like black and gross. Like,
Oh, black. Okay.
yeah, we're lucky enough where we live that we get to have great food, but we just want to be mindful of giving our body the beautiful, amazing nutrients it needs to be optimal, and then once in a while have fun food, whatever you have,
Absolutely.
right?
Can we
Once in a
talk
while.
about building on that, like how you help your clients? Actually, we're gonna have to go commercial, and then when we come back, I want you to share a little bit more about, you do talk a lot about mindset, and then let's maybe share some ways in how you have helped your clients and what's been really supportive for them. And I specifically want to also focus on how you help them with their metabolism. So
Mhm.
when we come back, and if you're tuning in live, thank you so much for the comments. Please ask your questions in the chats. We're paying attention as well.
OMTimes TV. Imagine becoming a super influencer. Reinvent yourself, invest in your brand, and then manifest your success with a robust spheric approach. OMTimes Media and Broadcasting offers a unique and multifaceted way to become the spiritual and conscious influencer you deserve to be by putting your message across our powerful platform with its proven record of integrity and excellence. Through our produced shows, OMTimes offers the opportunity to become a social media TV personality, a radio show host, an OMTimes magazine columnist, and a syndicated podcaster, all in one shot. By live streaming your show on OMTimes TV and broadcasting it across the extensive OMTimes radio and TV networks, you become more than a host. You become an ambassador and a force for positive change. OMTimes. Open yourself to the possibilities.
Are you feeling maxed out working one-on-one with clients and you're deeply desiring to scale your business for more time freedom without sacrificing your income, but rather expanding it? Many of my clients who are light workers, healers, practitioners, and even coaches, they're often multi-modality, are coming to me because they are sick and tired of working with clients on a one-off session model where the clients are coming in on an as-need basis. Or if they're selling packages, they are selling them in the sense of buy 5, get 1 free, or the greater the number of sessions, the greater the discount. The problem with this is it's still a dollar for hours business model. And so that leaves the practitioner feeling really exhausted and overwhelmed from having to put so much time, effort, and energy in finding new clients that they're not operating in their most elevated self with their current clients. And so if this is you, I would love to share with you that it's time to elevate your business and scale it to sell high ticket one-on-one programs or even group programs. This will allow you to have more deeper impacts because you're raising your clients' results, you're scaling your business, and you're having that time freedom you deeply are yearning for. If this is resonating with you, love, I'd love to invite you to come on a soul business alignment call with me so that you can stop feeling like you're on this roller coaster ride and start to feel safe and stable and even having fun in your business and your finances. Please go to electrifymybusiness.com to apply and we'll hop on a call. I can't wait to connect.
If I could be you and you could be me for just 1 hour, if we could find a way to get inside each other's minds, walk a mile in my shoes, walk a mile in my shoes. Well, before you abuse, criticize and accuse, walk a mile in my shoes.
Okay, welcome back, love. So I know that we're also going to be sharing about how Scott works with people and how he helps them rev their metabolism, but I want to put it into context as well. Like, well, I'll get Scott to actually. How, like, as again, I always share that health is wealth. I mean, it doesn't matter how much money you have. If your health is taken out, what good are we, right? And so I really want to speak into the importance of this. I mean, Scott, you know firsthand, having left a very stressful career and being overweight, stressed, and tired. Can we start there? And I'm going to encourage you all again to watch Scott's Blue Talks. Oh my gosh, the link will be in the show notes. Trust me, if you don't cry, I'm like, you just get some Kleenex out. That's all I'm gonna say.
Yeah, you know, I've been through kind of the fat to fit journey twice,
Yeah.
one not of my own choosing, but
Yeah.
well, that's another discussion. But anyway, when I was in architecture and I was overweight and unhealthy and not feeding myself well and eating lots of junk and sugar with my sugar and caffeine to get through the day. I mean, I was in architecture and I was trying to be junior partner and I was working 100 hours a week, 80 hours a week, 110 hours a week, all the time. I remember one time I got a migraine because I had worked for 36 or 40 hours straight without sleep to try and make a deadline. And I remember
Wow.
being at the office and one of the ladies came in and she said, "Hey, is Lyle here yet?" And I was like, I don't think so. And I looked down and I actually still have the piece of paper somewhere. And I wrote down, there was only 24 people in the firm at the time. And I wrote down the names of everybody in the firm that I could remember. And then I wrote Lyle with a question mark. And I didn't know who that was. And he was my best friend. And then the headache came and I couldn't see and the room went black and I threw up and I had a migraine from just so much stress. And I was in this realm of just trashing my body. Like I got up in the morning and I would have Fruit Loops or mini wheats for breakfast and I would go to work and I didn't like coffee. So I would just take caffeine pills. They didn't have energy drinks back in the 90s. And I would have sugar every chance I could have it. I had dessert with my dessert. I would eat junk. We would go to the pool hall and have folded over pizzas for lunch. And I just had no idea I just was eating what tasted good, and I had no energy. I was exhausted all the time. I had ringing in my ears. I had circulation problems. I had back pain. I had allergies. I was allergic to summer. I had to have a nasal puffer. I couldn't eat peaches, pears, cherries, nectarines, carrots, anything with a peel that you ate, I couldn't have. It was a train wreck. And when I finally talked to a doctor that said, well, are you under any kind of stress? I'm like, well, yeah. And he says, well, how much do you work out? I don't have time to work out. How much do you sleep? I don't know, 4 or 5 hours a night. Do you drink water? No. I drink iced tea and milk and, sugary drinks. And like, all of a sudden it was clear.
Wow.
I did not know what I was doing. I did not know what I was feeding my body or how that even worked. I mean, the news said eat low fat, which is the biggest lie in the world. But anyway, I didn't know what to do. And so then I met a trainer, I joined a gym, and I started learning about nutrition. And I started becoming, I couldn't stop learning about nutrition. And I uprooted and changed everything. I went back to actual fruits and vegetables and lean meats and healthy food and clean starches. And I got rid of sugar, and and all of a sudden I dropped 40 pounds of fat, put on 18 pounds of muscle, had a 6-pack at age 30, everything.
Wow.
All my allergies went away. Like I cured them
Wow.
with nutrition, right? They're gone. I don't have allergies anymore at all. And my energy is through the roof. I don't drink coffee. This is me caffeine free right now. And I'm 53.
I love it.
Energy, right? And all of my problems went away. My back isn't sore because I broke my back in high school, right? So it was always sore.
Oh,
And I
geez.
was told you'll be in a wheelchair by 40. Well, I'm 53. So, right?
Well, and let's talk about what happened, right? Your accident where you almost died.
Yeah, well, so just to say too that nutrition, all of a sudden I had so much energy and I felt so good. And instead of being this suffering clod of ailments, parasitic liability at work, I became an asset. Once I changed my nutrition,
wow,
I went from a tolerated, annoying staff who's technically good, but it comes with all the problems, to glowing, promotion. You know what, Scott? This brand new $4 million school project, we're going to let you just run the whole thing yourself because you've so much energy and so much ability and so much charisma and you're just glowing. You go. I ran whole projects. I got raises. I was going to be an associate partner in the firm, except then I realized I wanted to be a coach more than I wanted to be and I quit.
Yeah, wow.
But as an employee, I became more valuable because I stopped eating like a moron. So there's that. And so I mentioned there was 2 times I dealt with this, and you just alluded to the second one. I got really fit. I worked part-time in a couple different gyms. I built my own gym. I started running my own, and it was great. And I enjoyed it, but I wanted a new goal. And I thought, I wonder if I could finish a triathlon. And so I tried that. I hired a coach and did my first triathlon. I was amazing. I did really well. I did a bigger one. And then I did Ironman Canada, and I was hooked. I did that for about 4 years or so, 6 years. And then I got into Ultraman.
Well. Let's celebrate that.
Oh, it was amazing. I got on Team Canada. I went to Australia and Holland and Miami, and I went all over the world racing. It was the coolest thing. All of a sudden, I'm like, I got a maple leaf on my shirt and my name, McDermott, and right? This is really cool. So I got to see all this great stuff because I was fit and healthy. It was amazing. And then I heard about this race called Ultraman, which is 2.5 times longer than Ironman. At first, I was like, those guys are nuts. But then I was talking to a friend and I started to go, I wonder if I could finish that. Ooh,
wow.
And I like
Limitless, Scott. Limitless. That's what you are.
I like a challenge. So I went for it. And I did Ultraman Canada. So Ultraman is it's a 3-day triathlon. It's a 10K swim and 145K bike on day 1. And then day 2 is a 275K bike. And then day 3 is an 84.5K double marathon. So
is your nickname Bionic Man by any chance?
Stubborn Man is the nickname there. Yeah.
Stubborn Man?
Stubborn Man. That's a whole nother piece. But
okay, I'm like, I feel like it should be Limitless Man, but anyway.
Well, It's an interesting thing. So I was 6th overall at Ultraman Canada, and I was 20 minutes from second place in my first Ultraman. I
Wow.
crushed the race. I was so
Holy
great.
shit.
Here's the wonderful thing. All of the challenges I had when I was a kid growing up, with the challenges I inherited from my parents and all that kind of stuff. And I was bullied at school relentlessly. I tried to commit suicide when I was 13. Like I didn't want to live anymore. It just was a mess. I ran home because the bullies chased me. We go to the movie theater and the whole movie, someone's throwing popcorn in the back of my head. And the second the credits rolled, sprint for the exit door and run 3 or 4K home as fast as you can. Because if you can't outrun the bullies, they're going to beat the crap out of you again. That was my childhood. And you think, well, that sucked. Yes, it did. Layer after layer after layer of suckage. But what I realized is I don't quit.
Yeah, you
Ever.
don't.
And I don't care how hard it gets. I will not quit. And that's perfect for endurance sports. Because Ultraman is 3 days of not quitting when everything says you should. Because it's hard. It's awfully hard.
I'm just going to say, like, a triathlon, a marathon is hard. Much less than, like, holy moly, what you're doing and what you have.
Yeah, like
Wow.
in Ultraman, you wake up in the morning on day 3 and run a double marathon in
That's
Hawaii.
nuts. Scott, also nuts. Like,
Yeah. And you've already swam 10K open ocean swim, and you've already cycled 426 kilometers, and now you're going to run a double marathon. And by the way, it's Kona, Hawaii, so it's 30 degrees Celsius. It's in the 90s. There's black asphalt you're running on. There's black lava, no trees, no shade for 10 hours. Like, it's really hard. And I realized that all of the challenges I had as a kid became my strength because I never quit. And it became the most powerful thing.
That's a message right there.
It's
Really powerful. And I'm being mindful of the time. So we haven't gone to the accent part yet. So I'm going to encourage you all to, again, I can't emphasize enough, please go watch Scott's talk. It is incredible. In fact, you have a documentary, award-winning documentary around what happened.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So super quickly, I did really well in 2013. I was 21st in the world, and I went back in 2015 to be top 5, and I was succeeding at that goal. I was top 10, and I was chasing number 9. I was going down a mountainside at about 70 kilometers an hour, about 42 miles an hour in the rain. And apparently there was algae on the bridge deck. My wheel slid out, and I ragdolled down the highway. I sprained my finger, sprained my wrist, broke my arm in 3 parts, broke my shoulder in 4 parts, broke 5 ribs. I think it's funny that it's 3, 4, 5, but it is. I broke my knee, tore out the cartilage, tore my MCL, split the side of my face open, broke my skull open, exposing my brain, had whiplash, had the worst brain injury you can get. I went from top 10 athlete in the world to my 3-year-old putting my socks on because I can't. I was slurring my words. I couldn't remember things. I could only be awake for an hour and a half. My business was failing around me because, of course, nobody was doing marketing because I was broken. And it was a real struggle. And I used all the things I know about nutrition to get back in track. And it was a long process. They had to put metal parts in, take metal parts out. I had to have my knee rebuilt. I had to have neurology retraining where I looked at a lighted pen and traced things and said numbers and letters on walls that were the wrong color for the word they said. And I had to do all the stuff to learn to run again where I wasn't tripping. And it was a long process, but I made it back to the World Championships in 2018, and we filmed it. We made a documentary about that journey, and it's an award-winning film. It's 82 minutes long. It's family-friendly. It's free on YouTube. I would love to get it on Netflix. So if anybody knows how to get, I can't get past the gatekeeper. So if anybody knows how to get my award-winning film on Netflix, it's phenomenal. And the filmmaker did a brilliant job. We won Audience Favorite Award. It's
wow.
Anyway,
Okay, that's also in the show notes as well. That's also in the show notes as well. Yes. Okay. I love that you just put that out there. See, it's already speaking the wish into the universe. Yes.
Yeah.
So beautiful. And so thank you. Like, it just gives me like a newfound appreciation when you share your story. And every time I watch it, it's just like how resilient we can be when you've programmed yourself. I will not quit. I will not quit. And even on the deathbed, I will not quit. And we have the power to move forward and be resilient that way. And I just love that you are absolutely the image maker for that. Huge, Scott.
Yeah.
And so, the title of our show is Gain Energy, Release Weight, and Sleep Better in 21 Days. So I'd love for you to also share how you support your clients it's much longer than 21 days, by the way, but in the first 21 days, there are some really epic results. I have witnessed it myself. So do you want to speak a little bit more about that, and in terms of like how that's supporting the metabolism for the effects, longer term effects?
Yeah, absolutely. My first program is called the 21-Day Nutrition Reset, because it's about resetting everything. We're so used to eating junk and chemicals and bad fats like polyunsaturated fatty acids and sugar and caffeine. People use caffeine to pretend they're okay when they're not okay. And so for 21 days, we clean everything up. And it's 21 days. And I will say it's no grains, no dairy, no sugar, and no caffeine. It's those four things for 21 days. People go,
no peanut butter too. You got me, because I'm a peanut butter holic. I love my organic, crunchy peanut butter. It was like, Scott, I love you. Okay, I'll do this. But I've actually stayed off peanut butter. Like, I've had a little bit here and there, but definitely not as much. And I've I know every time I like limit my peanut butter intake, it really does. I can release weight quicker. My stomach is flatter. I'm just look a little bit more lean. I was like, holy shit. But sometimes, like I said, I love it.
Well, once in a while, whatever. But what we do is we take all of the best of the best of the best of the knowledge we have in nutrition, of removing foods that are inflammatory or causing problems. We just remove them. We really clean. But it's not enough to just say, remove all these things. Okay, well, what do I eat? Well, so I have a 90-page manual of this.
So good. Your recipes. It doesn't even feel like dieting. There's no way. Like, I've seen your Facebook. Well, I made you do a Facebook Live about it. You're like, I just baked some muffins.
Yeah, it's not. There's no starving. There's no deprivation. You don't have to weigh yourself every day. You just eat from these foods, and I've watched it. It's a miracle. Every month I watch somebody's life completely explode into awesome, and I love that I get to do it. And it's so simple. And then when you're done the 21 days, if you want to add one or two of the things back in, you can. A lot of people choose not to.
Yeah, like I said, I'm not even eating peanut butter as much anymore.
Yeah. And people say, well, why peanut butter? Well, peanut butter is often used in third world countries to clean up dirty crops, right? When there's a really toxic, dirty crop where they've used a lot of pollutants and pesticides, they plant peanuts because it sucks up the dirt, it sucks up the toxins, but then we're eating them. So peanut butter is a once in a while thing. Yeah. That's why that's off. That
sounds so you now. I didn't know that.
And there are hiding that facts away. Yeah, and if you buy organic peanut butter, then those are permanent peanut crops, and they don't play that game. But the commercial stuff is from the worst places, so that's why we do that game. Yeah.
Okay.
I've watched whole lives change. Like the biggest thing when people are so afraid to give up coffee. I've had people refuse to do my program because they will not give up coffee. I'm like, I understand. You don't have to. You're an adult. You can choose. But if you do, if you will, it's 3 weeks. If you will try it and just give your body that space, because coffee is a stimulant. It forces your body into fight or flight. It's basically taking your body and going, wake up. And so your body goes, huh, and then you're afraid. You're afraid all day. And coffee, it's a masking. It lets us pretend that we got enough sleep. It lets us pretend that we ate well. It lets us pretend, but it's fake. And you're on the coffee roller coaster.
I'm not a coffee drinker anymore either. I haven't been for years. I used to intermittent fast. And I noticed that, so I would drink coffee just to suppress the hunger. And I noticed I started to look pregnant. And as soon as I just eliminated that and I ate normally and ate breakfast, that shifted everything. And I was like, holy shit, coffee was not good on my gut.
When you give your body really great food that it needs and can use, you will have lots of energy. You will get a great sleep. Yeah. Coffee has destroyed sleep for so many people, and they don't even, they're like, oh, I could drink a cup of coffee and then go to bed. and have a crap sleep. They don't even realize it until you're separated from it for a while. And then you're like, oh my gosh, I had no idea. Because we get used to feeling terrible and thinking that's just
Things
normal.
are normal. Yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm.
One of my clients said that to me 2 weeks ago. He was running a half marathon with me. I was wearing a hamburger costume. It was hilarious. It was a Halloween half. And he looked at me and he goes, Coach, I feel so good. And I looked at him and said, yeah, you're supposed to. We're supposed to feel good. We're
Yes.
supposed to feel good all the time. We're not supposed to be some suffering clod of ailments. We're supposed to feel good. This man joined me 70 days prior to that half marathon because his wife was a runner and I'd been coaching her for almost 2 years. And he couldn't run because he has both knee surgeries and he was overweight. And he said, I really want to run with her. She's doing the 162 kilometer, 100 miler at the end of and I want to run the last 20 miles with her, 20K with her. Do you think I can? I'm like, yeah, let's start working on it. So I taught him how to run, improved his form, and we got him in good nutrition for a month. And he dropped just about 30 pounds and started running. You built him a graduated program, and he ran the last 20 kilometers with his wife to finish out her race. And I'll tell you, I've been coaching her for 2 years. She came to me with a knee injury, couldn't run. We helped with that with form. She was second overall in the 100-mile run, the 162K. She was chasing the lead male. She crushed it.
Wow. Congratulations.
Yeah. So I get so excited helping people, and it's like, you don't have to suffer.
Feel it. I know you do. And people feel it too. Your clients, again, love you so much. They're like, stop undercharging. We're going to throw money at you because you're so much more worth it. Just like incredible. And I encourage you all to check out the link in the show notes in terms of Scott's award-winning documentary, his Blue Talks, his website. You can see the testimonials of his clients. Like, it's incredible results. And if you want that 21-day head start, definitely contact Scott. You can follow him. Wow. Like, that's, and Scott, I want to say, just again, somebody who's recovered from disordered eating and then shifting my mindset, that eating feels so neutral to me. I mean, I have foodgasms all the time. And it's because I still eat fast. My kids are like, Mom, did you teach people how to slow down and eat? And I'm like, sorry, Asian genes taking over. We like love to just put the food in our mouth. But all jokes aside, I really just, like, that whole emotional piece around food is not there. I used to be that person that would go to parties and be like, oh my God, like, I've saved up my calories for today, and now I get to go and binge on the desserts and the cheese. Oh my God, the cheese table, right? Like, all of that. And it was, and that's not even the focus. I mean, that hasn't been the focus for a really long time. So I want to say, like, my metabolism, I'm 41 now, is so good. I feel so good, like, knowing that I can choose what I want to eat, and I choose to have foods that fuel me, that make me feel alive and alert, and energized for my day. I really don't think I'd be as much of a high performer CEO as I would be without exercising, without the nutrition. And it's all intuitive eating. I don't measure and things like that. I just, and Scott, your recipes have been incredible. So it's really about intuitive eating and knowing what my body likes and what it doesn't like. And that sometimes takes trial and error, but like, a lot of times there's so much information overload. Your program really makes it easy and doable to be like, okay, we're just going to like put those kind of foods aside, clean up our system, our internal system and the gut, and just take away the bloat, improve our energy levels, get better sleep. And it's so powerful.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And so many people have lost what intuitive eating is. They think intuitive eating is ice cream because I want it. That's different. But you need some distance first. And I think what people don't realize too is that food influences mood. When you eat garbage, your mood is garbage. You have nothing to work from. I had a client that was angry. He was in multiple lawsuits, divorce. His life was a train wreck. We started working on just his nutrition. Not only did he drop 76 pounds, but his whole world changed. He got promotions and raises at work. His relations with kids, relations with the ex-wife, your mood is influenced by food because it's just hormone. And when your hormones are out of whack, you're grumpy and miserable.
Look at who he became, like total 180. And that's what you mean. It's not just about dropping weight. I mean, honor that too, right? It's who you become, how you make decisions, how you go into a relationship with yourself and with your health and your choices around movement and nutrition. And that's all belief system.
Yeah,
Like
releasing the weight.
Yes.
Releasing the weight is a byproduct of taking care of yourself. You take care of yourself. The weight just goes away. You don't need it anymore. It just goes away. And I got to tell you, your body loves you. Your body is doing so many things every day to take care of you.
Yes.
It loves you, and you're feeding it garbage. Stop it.
All right. Christopher says he has a question for Scott. Good shoot, Christopher, our producer. He's putting in the private chat. Let us know. But my loves, I would love to know what your takeaways are. I know Scott would love to hear. Okay, Christopher's like after the show because we only got like 30 seconds left. So here we go. So go and connect with Scott, book into his calendar, have a discussion. He can help you see how to support you in your health, because health is wealth. Thank you so much, Scott, for being here. I so appreciate you.
You're welcome. Thanks for having me.